What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Hella.
Wait a minute, wait. This is my channel. What's up, my beautiful people? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, now you can take over.
I'm a special guest on today's video.
Finally, we got the brain behind the camera joining me on this subject. What is the subject?
Running across America.
Today is the anniversary of day one of my run across the United States, coming from California to New York. What does it take to run 3,061 miles in 84 days?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Subscribe.
Subscribe, turn on your notification bells, and stay tuned for more videos. We're gonna be posting.
And like this video.
Like this
because
video.
I'm in it.
But she's in it, guys. Let's see if we can get 10,000 likes to get her back again.
Have we ever gotten 10,000 likes?
I think maybe once or twice on a viral video. Let me know if you want her back. Let's get 10,000 likes. I never actually asked for this, but let's see if it's possible. Let's do it.
First question, did you ever cry on the journey?
Running across America?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Did I? When did it happen?
With your coach.
Oh my goodness, see, it did happen. I usually never cry. See, that's why I didn't even think I did. I did actually once. I was struggling in Arizona and my knees were giving out. Shin, forget about it. And then I see a sign that says Cook Drive. Well, that's my coach's last name. And I was like, this is a sign. This is the guy that was on me about running. And I started running and fell in love with it. And I thought about he was one of the reasons about this whole running journey. And I see his name. So I think it was him saying he passed away. May he rest in peace. I think it was a signal of him telling me, Hella, come on, keep pushing. So I got emotional. I'm like, wow, I got so much more energy that day. And to find out later when I spoke to his son sharing that story, that he actually did a transcontinental. Instead of running, he rode his bike across America. What were the chances? That was emotional.
That was really crazy.
That was cool. Yeah, I did cry. Dang.
Yeah.
No, you got to see me cry.
You never cry.
I never cry, guys.
Now ask me.
Have you ever cried? I know the answer to this, but you answer for yourself.
Okay, I cried like probably once every day.
I think maybe 3 times a day.
Okay, in the beginning, for the first like 2 weeks, I probably cried like at least 3 times a day.
Yes.
And then it was like better. But yeah, I cried a lot.
Yeah.
It was very emotional for me. I felt bad though because I didn't want you to worry about me.
I wasn't.
But I was crying a lot.
I was letting you do your thing, so that was me.
Yeah.
Not worrying too much, yeah.
Can you like walk us through what a typical day was like?
A typical day was getting up in the morning and start all my routine. Let's say I was struggling with pain, taking my ibuprofens, start taping out my blisters and using the bathroom, putting out my core shorts that's keeping my hip aligned pretty well, and start doing any little activation to get my muscles warm up while you're kind of sleeping a little bit.
Yeah.
You would then get up and make my breakfast, and then I'll take the breakfast with me in the support car that she's driving to bring me to where I ended the run the day before. And that is literally every morning on repeat. And it's the worst drive because when I'm in that warm car to get to that, I want to cry. Even though I didn't cry, I'm like, I gotta go and repeat this because I know what the day is gonna look like. I know how many miles I gotta do. And it just becomes tough, and just tough on the mind and the body as well.
Yeah. And then you would run, you would stop around like 5 or 10 miles.
Yes, and we got to a point where it was like 10 before 10.
Yeah.
So I was trying to get 10 miles in before 10 a.m.
That was like the
That
thing.
was a cool thing.
So every time it was 10 before 10, it was set up to be like a successful
day when that happened.
Like a good end time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keeping the miles done and everything. And I would stop every 5 miles usually and eat and recover. Not recover, just eat and refuel. That's what it was. It wasn't no recovery.
Yeah.
And not waste as much time as possible. Trying to limit that and just get out there and keep repeating it until sometime I get in a groove. I don't even stop. The longest I went was 18 miles nonstop because I was in a groove. I remember one day I was just like, no, I was telling
that
them
was like
keep
toward
going.
The end, right?
Yeah, I was like keep going.
The end of the day.
I was like, keep going. I don't want to stop. Toward the end of the day, I'm just like, let's just finish this thing. Stop. I don't want to stop. I'll just get some snacks off the car across the road if I need to. Yeah. As she was driving.
When you like imagined doing the run and now finishing it, did it go as you imagined it would?
Nope. No, because you have this idea in your head, especially me being me, this is gonna be this, I'm gonna have all this time. No, I imagined it to be completely different in a way where I thought that I was gonna be in control of everything, and I know better. I was in control of the weather, definitely not the mountains. The dogs, I was worried about that it was the complete 180. It was the opposite. But the only thing that I imagined was my mindset to just keep digging through adversity. That I was 100% right, but everything else I didn't imagine as how it was.
What was your favorite thing to eat?
Favorite thing to eat in the beginning was bagels until I got sick of it. Bagels was my go-to. And then I got hooked on oatmeal that my friend made, Garrett Jones, Sugar Jones. He'll make me oatmeal and I got sick of that. And then I fell in love with the vegan mayo and toast with tomato on top.
Yeah.
I got obsessed
we
with
would
that.
Make sandwiches, just toast with vegan mayo and tomato and like salt and pepper.
My favorite thing of the day though was having my vegan shake. That was 1,000 calories. This ice cream shake was so good, and I love having pizza with it or pasta at night. That never got old for me.
Yeah, it was a lot of just easier stuff to make, like frozen stuff.
It was all a lot of frozen stuff.
It was just like we had to be quick about
Quick,
everything.
yes.
What part of the day did you look forward to most?
When I finished that last run, I'm doing my airplane, and I just finished the run, and I'm screaming, celebrating to end the day. And on the road to getting into the RV, when you stop, you know this is the day, and I'm walking up the RV, and I'm just done. All I have to do is shower, eat, do my post-run video. Those were the best. And then next thing you look at the clock, you're like, no, it's time to go to bed. No, I gotta get up. That part was so sweet because you know that you did the job for the day, and now it's time to just relax and rest. Yes. How about you?
It wasn't like a time of the day that I liked, but like if there was ever a point where we could like be, it was like a calm road or something, we could
be closer.
Chat.
Yeah, and chat. I'll be next to you running while you're.
Yeah.
So more about
again
safety.
Yeah.
Safety. Yeah.
Do you wish now that you did anything differently at any point?
Of course, getting out earlier and going later because I thought that I could chip in away a little more mileage because before I would just stop when I thought it was good enough, and I realized I didn't need to, and I realized that you're never gonna recover. It's gonna be cumulative fatigue, cumulative exhaustion. You just have to deal with it within your best. I would change that, and I would change that I didn't run in high elevation at all, ever. Training wise.
Yeah.
Did not ever do that. I was at 92 feet above sea level in New Jersey. So basically, I'm actually proud of myself that I threw myself in the middle of elevation for the first time in my running journey that's high consistently. It's just, that's something that I would change for the run, and I think that would have been a huge help.
It's weird because I feel like even if you knew what to expect, you just kind of like deal with what's going on as it's happening, and you just never know what's going to happen the next day. So it's like you're just trying to, it's such a weird situation.
It is.
Advice to somebody wanting to do this.
Advice to doing the transcontinental, to run across America. I would say to really have time in the mountains. Just do it. Because it's not even if you're physically, you're like a superhero, nothing hurts you. Just being that high, your foot will swell up. I'm from size 10 to 11. That was like being on the concrete pavements, but also the elevation doesn't help with swelling. Acclimating to that elevation, breathing, everything, I think I would advise that. But also, nutrition. You gotta make sure you eat because whether you're going slow, some days you're walking up these mountains, you can't even run. What happened is you are burning calories and it ends up adding up. I would say focus on your nutrition, focus on the training and elevation, and also remember it's your own race. Remember that, because I was kind of playing games with myself where I was trying to reach this expectation that I didn't even set out for myself, and also at the time where I was setting myself short from my own expectations. So be mindful of what you want to do for yourself and the training aspect. I think that's the biggest. And let things happen how it should happen. You can't control the dogs, so don't waste your energy on the dogs. Just trying to be as safe as possible. You can't control the weather. Don't waste your energy on crying about the weather. And I did complain about it, but just know that you can't do anything about it and just move one day at a time.
On the last video that we did with like kind of a Q&A, we talked about how like every day there was some kind of interaction with police pretty much. So like more in depth about that. It wasn't always like
negative.
It wasn't always him that the police were talking to. Sometimes it would be me because I was on like the shoulder of the road, and that's like weird. Like usually you're not really supposed to be on the shoulder unless something is going on. And so the police were just checking on me usually, like, hey, is everything okay? And it was like a nice interaction for the most part.
Yeah.
And then there were like kind of scarier ones.
Yeah, scary ones.
For the most part, it was just like them doing their job.
Yes.
What about shoes?
Shoes, ooh, it's so hard to pick shoes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the shoes. You remember it? I get excited about a pair of shoes. I'm like, this is it. This is comfortable. And a couple days later, I'm like, I absolutely hate these shoes.
Yeah.
I said, these are the shoes that are making me injured.
Yes.
Literally.
Oh my gosh, every time. It was like, oh, these ones are like helping me out. And then I was like, these are hurting me.
So it's tough, but some of the best ones that made me have like the high days was the like a Clifton 7 at the time, Mach 4, and also Nike Pegasus 37. Like that's not an ultra shoes, but it was just those would work consistently. But I think you're so beat up, everything is an enemy to you because you don't feel like anything is comfortable. So it's tough to say. There's one specific thing that worked perfectly.
And it was like easy to blame the shoes.
It was so easy to blame the shoes.
Like not because you're running that high mileage and like all this elevation.
Like,
it's the shoes fault.
That's why I'm getting blisters. That's why I'm getting this and that. So if that was happening on a 7-mile run day, that's different. But it's just talking about 40 plus miles.
Did you have to do anything that like in the beginning before you even started, you were like, no chance I'm gonna do that?
No.
Really?
So I said, there's no chance I'm using running poles. Okay, I said, there's no chance. Like, who uses poles to run? And I couldn't understand that. And I was so glad that I brought something because that was an extra leg. And then some of the mountains, the hills, I was like, there's no chance I'm walking. You can possibly, I'm here to run and I'm going to run. So I was running up the mountain until I didn't blow my knee, but IT band was an issue. Swelling, shin was done. You're talking about running uphill, that's already tough, but downhill, some of them are so steep, you get shin splint. So I went out there with that mentality, nope, that isn't happening. And I called my friend, Robbie Ballinger, who was a big mentor in this, and said, hey, Robbie, how did you run these mountains? I'm talking about one day I was climbing for 6 miles. It was like this, and I didn't want to give up and even walk a step. He said, Hellah, you can't do that. You got to walk some of those. You got to be smart. And that's when I decided to be smart and take some of those mountains easy and trying to, instead of being a superhero. So that did happen. Reading if you guys have read the book Born to Run, the author says, for ultra runners, if you don't see the top of the mountains or the hills, you better walk that thing because you're going to get to that, you're done, you're dead, the downhill isn't even going to help. In fact, you're going to be even slower going down. Yeah, that happened to me. I learned. You learn and live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tell us about your day off.
So one day I was in so much pain. I don't even know how I completed the day. My shins were just not there and I thought I was going to break my shin. So the following day I woke up feeling really bad and I knew it was going to be a rough day. So we started going. 6 miles in, I said we need to shut it down. And for the first time for me to say something like that, I was in so much pain. So we shut it down and we found an RV park. This was in Arizona, I believe. Yes, we found an RV park.
It was far actually.
It was far. We had to drive like almost an hour to get to it because it's nowhere. It's closest. We want to make sure we get fresh water.
And also it was like the closest even store area.
Anything. So we do that and I was thinking, okay, I got my run done. The streak lives. It was 6 miles. We're good. So the next day would be a day that we go at it again. When I woke up and I walked, my shin was just, there was no chance. So my goal was, you know what, let's take that day off. The day off meaning for the transcontinental moving forward. So I decided to go on a 3-mile run. I went 1.5 mile up, 1.5 mile back to make 3 miles to keep my streak going. The 9-minute mile pace because it was short and I was just like kind of like biting on the pain just to get that done with. So I didn't do anything for the rest of the day. So that was my one day off and it was the best because we watched movies, we ate a lot, we did laundry. So in my mind, I just let go of the day and that was a perfect day. But after that, I think mentally it was good for me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel like I needed a day off. As much pain I went through later.
Yeah.
That day off was never needed anymore.
Do you think it was ever a worse pain than that?
Similar, but I think at that point you build a callus in your brain where you almost numb it out. Earlier when I got injured like that callus wasn't built yet.
What was your happiest day?
Happiest day for me was when people just show up and run. Especially in New Mexico, our first Pacers came in to help and people sharing their time with you and it's just the love that you feel. Those are very happy. And many times where like you would go get me stuff like all these food stuff, like even getting donuts, those little things, you're like so excited,
like kind of out of the ordinary.
And you're looking forward to, I know where you're going, what you're getting when you go get me new shoes because you have to travel long distance and I'm looking forward to those little moments. Those are happy moments because it's something different. It's something that would happen when you're home and you don't get to do and now it's on the road, someone is going to do it.
Yeah,
those are some of the happiest days.
Yeah, because it was like we weren't like living a normal life.
No, it was not at all. And every day felt like an eternity.
Yeah.
It did.
It really did. Every day felt like 3 days.
Yeah.
It was like the morning was one day, the afternoon was another day, the night was another day. I think my happiest day was maybe when Robbie and Shelly were there. Like that was a really happy time because they knew exactly what we were going through.
Yeah.
Because they did it.
You reminded me of the day that Robbie actually first surprised me. I was so miserable, but when I saw him, it was like God sent. It was like,
Yeah. He literally was like our God God.
Like literally, it's
Our
like
God for
because
this.
he went through everything. He's trying to help me avoid the mistake he made and help himself to alleviate pain. I'm new at this, so now I can help somebody else without a doubt. So it was just like, and when he came, it was the turning point. That's when we started seeing like ball is rolling now. There's a routine going on. There's like, there's no time wasting. You make this goal to make this day, you gotta get it done by any means necessary. There's no letting out, and she did that pretty well. She wouldn't let me do anything less than we set out.
Yeah.
You're like, you gotta do it, or if you're not, okay, it's up to you. You don't want to do it. Tomorrow we gotta add it. Do you want to add it? And you're like, no. Let me just try to get it out of the way today.
Has anything changed about your running or your mindset since you did this?
100%. 100%. I know running is not that serious, but it made me really think in a way where I had a requirement for myself, no less than 7 miles a day, my average. And with a transplant, it was over 8. My mindset has just been different in a way where it's okay to use pull to run because you're helping yourself. It's okay to go shorter and slower. And I always knew that for myself. That's what kept me happy doing it. But it takes a lot more pressure off of that, even my own expectation for myself. So the expectation I hold for myself, I'm allowed to change that expectation. Because if I set an expectation, there's no if and when but I get it done. But now I'm giving myself permission to change that expectation. A good example is I'm doing a little running training just to up things up a little bit, coming from a shin pusher, shin splint. I had a 10-mile run workout to be done. I'm like, I don't feel like doing 10 miles today, but I still want to run. I'm excited. I want to run 3 miles. And I said, bye 10 miles, and I want to enjoy that 3 mile like nothing else. So that has changed for me. The old Hellah would have been like, it's 10 miles, you better get it done. But the main point for me is this journey, just get out there and run outside no matter the circumstances. The distance could be anything. That always changes. So reminding myself that makes everything a lot easier.
Yeah. And something that you never used to do is like stop ever on your run. Like you literally thought like if you stopped on a run, then it doesn't really count.
Yeah, for me. So I would be in the middle of a run, someone would wave at me to talk to me. I will not stop. I'll be like, hi, I gotta go, I'll talk to you later. So now I'd be like, you know what, Hellah, it's okay to hit pause on your watches and stop and talk to somebody, or like tie your shoelace. I would run with my shoelace. I did a whole video. My shoelace come undone like 1 mile in of the 7. I do the rest of the 6 with my shoelace flopping, because to me, if I stop the run, my own expectation, not for anybody, it didn't count as a run because I stopped. So now I don't care about that. I will pause. I'll take 3 minutes chatting with somebody or tie my shoelace. It's still running. It's just like you stopped in the middle of it and you pause. But that's very big. And I'm glad that I don't have the old mindset that I never stop. And the Transcontinental taught me that, because a lot of stopping and go. And you had to.
Okay, I don't know if you guys know this, but at the end of Hellah's run, he proposed to me. Did you know you were going to do that from the beginning?
1,000%. Since everything was coming to crunch time, I was like, oh my gosh, how cool it would be to do a proposal in the end. Because we know our friends and family, everybody's going to be there. Because I imagine the ending to be like that. So it was in the back of my mind before I even started. And then here and there during the Transcontinental will come up and I'll let it go. And toward the end, and I started really focusing on it. So I kind of had it planned. I had it planned. It was in the back of my mind. I just didn't know how I was going to get a ring. That I had no idea. I just let it go and then we found a way. Yes. Had to do it. How did you feel about that?
I was fully surprised. Like the only thing that I was questioning was the last day. Well, the day before the last day, we ended here in our, like right next to our house. He was like interviewing everybody.
I was just letting them know.
Everybody. He was interviewing everybody for a video. And I was like, what is he doing? Like, I was confused. And then he interviewed me, and it was just like questions about the end or whatever. Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess he's just like trying to make a video. I don't know what it is. But so he was videoing everybody to get their reactions, even though he acts like he didn't do that because, I don't know, maybe he's going to use it for something. Maybe. Who knows? And I would love to see those videos. I don't know what his memory card is. But that was my only, like, what is going on? But then I didn't think twice about it. And, like, I had, like, spray paint all over my hands because I was trying to make a shirt for him for the finish. And, like, I was wearing a t-shirt and leggings. I was, like, looking all disheveled, but who cares? I think the fact that I want to interview you, that's what I was going to try to make you not feel suspicious. What is he doing? Yeah. I'm trying to get everybody's reaction for the last day. Hopefully, I think it worked. Yeah, he did a good job. I was surprised. And, like, we were together, I don't know if you guys know this, but we were together for 9 years. It was 9 years. Well, almost 9 years. Yeah. So 10 years this year. I always knew it was going to happen, but... How'd you know? Hey.
Well, would you ever do something like this? Like support somebody? Because it was a lot. Physically, mentally, emotionally, a lot.
Okay, now that I've done it, I would be capable of doing it again because I know what I need to do now. Going into it before, I was very, I don't know, nervous, stressed, anxiety because I didn't know what to expect. But now that I've gone through it, I think I would do really well. So if you need me,
if you need
maybe
someone,
I'll help you.
yeah, exactly. I'm gonna ask her 2 questions. What was your worst day first?
Ooh, what was my worst day? The first day was really hard, but I don't think it was the worst day because it was like, it was kind of exciting, but also like very scary. My worst day?
I think it was the switchback day, the mountains.
Oh.
Not like you personally, just everything.
No, that was my worst day.
Yeah, that
Okay,
switchback.
my worst day was, there were these switchbacks in Arizona, and I was actually like having to talk to myself while I was driving through them because I drove ahead to check where the RV could go, and I was nervous for myself driving. Like I felt like I was gonna fall off the edge of this cliff, and I was gonna fall off too. I was like, you could do this. You're brave. It's fine. You're good. You're fine.
And then I was in front of the car so you can block cars.
And then so then I was so nervous for him to be on the edge because there was like
cars
no
coming.
edge, and like cars are coming really quick. So I'm like, go in front of me as I'm driving, and then I almost got hit.
Yep, almost got hit rear-ended.
Oh my gosh.
What was your favorite day?
My favorite day was the last day.
That you can't really beat that. That was incredible.
Yeah, nothing else compares.
Yeah, that was just, if you haven't seen, go look at the videos.
It's hard to choose between the day before the last day and the last day. They were both great.
I think the last day for sure.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Because so many people, it was just so celebrated, and you feel like, okay, the job is almost done, and the job is now done. And celebrate with everybody was so fun. Yeah. Just a little, it was kind of came from an interview to a conversation about the Transcon. But last one, actually, what does it take to run 3,000 miles in 84 days? To end it on that, because I kind of want to say that.
Yeah, what does that take?
It takes grit. Literally, you gotta be like, I'm tough as nail, if not tougher than nail. It takes positive mindset. It takes talking to yourself a lot because you will go crazy. Literally, I'm on the road by myself. Yeah, she's across sometime. You are just, it's you hallucinate some things that happen. And also, it takes work in terms of running. Just train. You gotta train. If you don't train, you're not gonna be able to sustain it physically. And that means lifting weights to get stronger. That means run at zone 2, ultra distance. And those are the major thing I would say. You just have to be that well-rounded, and then you'll be fine. Nothing else special. And those are the basics that we should all know. And I feel like you don't have to have a run streak going on to do this. You don't. It's going to be very helpful, 100% more helpful than not, but you can get up and do it. But just remember though, it's rough. But anything rough doesn't mean it's impossible, I would say.
Exactly.
Yeah. So no special answer to that.
And a good support system.
Actually, let's end it with that. Support system is more important than yourself. I don't care what anyone has to say with that, in terms of, not like I don't value your opinion, because without the support system, you are lifeless. Who's gonna feed you? Who's gonna tell you when your mind isn't even there where to turn? I would be told to turn in half a mile, and I'd be like, where am I turning again? There's so much that's with it. Support system is the best. Alright, camera's about to die. Thank you guys for watching. Remember that you matter, you're lovely, you're the best, and keep pushing no matter the circumstance, and chase that dreams and goals. Let's get her on more videos. 10,000 like y'all. See y'all soon. Let's get it. Let's go.